Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We will be having a quick chat on some of the challenges that companies are facing when it comes to implementing e-invoicing. I have Gaurav Chugani with me, director with Andersen. Some of the challenges that we've been hearing recently, Gaurav, I think when it comes to implementing e-invoicing and the gap analysis that we're conducting for a lot of businesses, some queries have come through. We can take those later. But what are some of the common challenges that you have witnessed when it comes to companies?
So what I envisage is like e-invoicing is going to be a big project. It's like a fresh implementation of VAT. What we had done in the past in 2017 and 18, we're going to do it again. It's a fresh start all over again, wherein there are more parameters to consider. Now, requirements are coming up from people, requirements are coming up from ASPs, requirements are coming up from the service providers, which are the ERPs which we currently people are using or companies are using. So to align everything and align the people in the company, it is getting more difficult. So these are the practical challenges which we are seeing. We can discuss them in length. So over to you.
Yeah, I think when we deep dive into a conversation like this, it opens an ocean. However, I think from a challenge perspective, I think ERP is something that is most
Yep.
talked about.
Yep.
So can you tell us some of the instances where, you've faced certain challenges or clients have come to you with certain challenges that
Yep.
may be of concern, or how do you navigate through these challenges?
So basically, ERP implementation is going to happen again for most of the companies. So whether you are in Oracle, SAP, D365, whichever software you're using currently, you will have to sort of consider a lot of changes. Integrating with your ASP, aligning if you're meeting the basic requirements of e-invoicing, because the contents as per the data dictionary, now even people release their data dictionary, which has a lot of conditions, which has a lot of parameters to be met. Meeting those parameters, whether your ERP is currently ready with that or not, whether you will have to consider adding one more stoppage or one more step you have to take. So those things we are evaluating for our clients right now, wherein we are seeing that most of the companies are not prepared and they are going to take time.
Right.
They may take, say, a year to sort of compile and come up to a position wherein they can comply with the requirements. So we're working with a lot of government companies wherein we have seen that they have various portals which are aligned to the ERP. And now there's one more thing which is coming up as a ASP wherein you have to align your entire ERP with your ASP. That is also becoming a more challenge because you have to comply with so many software, so many ERPs.
I think we've witnessed that even at our recent events where we're meeting a lot of people, finance teams, business owners who have discussed similar challenges. What are certain obstacles when it comes to, let's say, the business flow? How does that look?
So what we are seeing right now, there's a way of doing business. You have, say, before you make a purchase, you have a process of issuing a tender, you have a PO process, you have selection process, whatever, you have a process. Now companies don't want to change that process. When I say that, they actually don't want to. Now e-invoicing coming into picture, you cannot have a process flow without e-invoicing. You have to consider e-invoicing because that is going to be the most crucial part. The payments would become more crucial because it has to be linked to your e-invoice. So there are several things which will change from a flow perspective. People are considering that while we're doing implementation and gap analysis for many of our companies, some of the companies are ignorant. They don't even know what the current processes are. So we are understanding their processes because there are various team members who are following various different processes. So alignment of process is one of the crucial aspects of gap analysis or impact assessment while we are doing it.
How much time do you think companies should envisage keeping in mind when it comes to implementing e-invoicing? Because it can't happen overnight. I think businesses need to understand that and also conduct gap analysis because it is the need of the hour.
100%.
A lot of these aspects are crucial, and working with the right consultants, I would say, is important, right? People who have done this before, who understand the entire process, who have worked with companies supporting with their tax automation process, as well as when it comes to being compliant with the FTA and the Ministry of Finance. So, what is the time frame that they should keep in mind when it comes to implementing e-invoicing and at the same time the post go live?
I would say businesses should have started yesterday. So I think
Yeah.
going back to yesterday is a problem, but at least people should consider conducting gap analysis right now, because you're never too late, but there's a lot of time which will be required to align your ERP, plan the integration with your ASP. Now, every ASP is not suitable for every company. It's like looking for a partner. So you have to be more careful about what you're selecting, because you have to align all and everything with the FTA and Ministry of Finance while you have selected a ASP. So you have to choose it wisely. You have to conduct an assessment to choose your ASP, because you can't go wrong. If you go wrong, then you have to carry that mistake across, say, for years and years, because you cannot change ASPs very often. You have to maintain that for years. Second thing, like you rightly said, automation is now becoming more vital. People are moving towards automation to a certain extent, wherein AI has replaced a lot of things. Now, very soon, what we are seeing that in the market, and of course, our team is also working on it. E-invoicing will be totally automatic.
Right.
There'll be a system wherein direct integration would happen. Everything will be automated, and at the end, the returns would also be filed automatically. So the vision of the FTA and the Ministry of Finance is very clear. They don't want anything which is loose. They want everything within the framework of e-invoicing. And that's the reason they had implemented 3 or 4 years back the portals for procurement.
Right.
That was the main intention. So keeping this in mind, I think if you ask me about timelines, we should act right now. And post go live, again, at least a 3 or a 4 month teething or a hand-holding might be required by consultants as well as with the ASP service providers. So you have to keep in mind, say, 4 months post-implementation and acting from today till the go live.
Well, I like the analogy you made as choosing the right partner. I think it's very important for us, as I mentioned before, that working with the right consultants who understand not just your business, but also who have done this from a tax perspective when
Correct.
it comes to automating a lot of these aspects and also compliant with the FTA and MOF. So I think it's great to hear your perspective and some of the challenges that businesses have been facing. And leading up to July 2026, I think we are going to hear a lot more from our clients. We're going to hear a lot more from business owners. We're also running a lot of demos from a perspective of sharing how we help.
Yes.
So would you like to share or shed some light on that?
So we are currently conducting a lot of demos. We are conducting a lot of, what you might say, workshops to explain businesses how this e-invoicing would work. We're collaborating with a lot of chambers and we're collaborating with a lot of associations to give guidance to people. We are conducting roadshows as well. And in case you want us to help you out, you can reach out to us.
Well, that's great, Gaurav. Thank you so much for joining on such a quick chat. I think we should keep the conversation going because
100%.
a lot of our audience keeps sending us messages and
Yes.
queries. I think we will be addressing some of the queries
Sure.
with our FAQ that we'll be posting soon.
Sure.
But I appreciate your time and
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
joining me today.
Thank you so much, Myra.